ඉස්සලම කියන්න ඕනේ අපි පිළිගන්නවා සාර්ව ආර්ථිකය.
We accept the fact that the overall economy has stabilized. However, we challenge you to table a proposal to build on the progress achieved thus far, since no such proposal has been tabled yet. When President Anru Kumara Dissanayake was contesting the 2024 presidential polls, inflation, which was at about 70%, dropped to -1%. Interest rates, which were at 35%, dropped to 8%. The exchange rate of the rupee against the dollar, which was at about 370 rupees, also dropped to about 294 rupees. However, yesterday the president attempted to take credit for this progress during his budget speech, claiming it all happened in 1 year. That is not in fact the case. The president mentioned that this is the system change they aspired. I informed the president with regret that a rules-based order was already set up to facilitate a system change before he assumed office as the president. The government recorded an unprecedented figure in tax revenue. For the first time in history, the Treasury holds an unfathomable amount of funds. Surpluses of the People's Bank and the Bank of Ceylon have crossed a whopping trillion rupees. They pledge to not collect paid tax from those who receive a monthly salary of 200,000 rupees. I must question the president as to why the government can't provide tax relief considering the ample tax proceeds with the treasury already.
පොරොන්දු වෙච්ච බද්ද අඩු කරන්න කියලා ජනාධිපතිතුමාගෙන් අපිට අහන්න වෙනවා.
දැන් මේ වැදගත් ලියවිල්ලක් තියෙන අතරේ මේ
Although an important document has been released, some claim that 12.5 billion rupees have been allocated for the purchase of vehicles for members of parliament representing the government. That is in fact a lie. Usually local government bodies and the state sector at large require around 2,500 to 2,700 vehicles. This 12.5 million rupee allocation has been set aside to fund lease installments of these vehicles. Many have used this fact to misrepresent the budget. I urge everyone to not misinterpret these proposals. None of the 159 MPs of the government require these vehicles. As the president revealed, cabinet and state ministers are in fact using some vehicles. They don't need other vehicles. Vehicles will only be provided to those who actually need it.
විශේෂයෙන් මේ මිලියන 12500 ගරු නියෝජ්‍ය කතානායකතුමනි වෙන් කරලා තිබෙනවා.
12.5 billion rupees have been earmarked to purchase a total of 2,700 vehicles. 700 vehicles from the total will be allocated to local government bodies, while 1,775 will be allocated to the government. 225 vehicles will be provided to MPs. The vehicles will be procured on lease. We urge the opposition to not raise concerns pertaining to the fifth budget at the reading of the second budget. You will run out of concerns to raise when the fifth budget is presented in Parliament.
ගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඉදිරිපත් කරපු 2025
The 2025 budget tabled by the President allocated 4 billion rupees to develop roads and bridges of rural Sri Lanka. However, only 272 million rupees of the total have been actually utilized for the purpose. 93% of the funds have been returned to the Treasury. The President and his government keep bringing up the digital economy at every possible occasion. 183 million rupees were set aside for this endeavor during the last budget. Therefore, progress corresponding to only 0.1% has been achieved. 99% of the funds have been returned. This is the progress of the 2025 budget. If plans for 2027 are not implemented at least now, there will be no point to these debates. This is the reality of the 2025 budget.
මේ රටේ මිනිස්සු JVP එකට ඡන්දය දුන්නේ ආර්ථික හැකියාව මත නෙවෙයි.
Voters chose the JVP not over economic concerns. They were aware that you are not competent enough to drive the economy. This is why you obey the IMF. Why are you doing this? Who is in fact guiding the economy? The IMF regulates the economy, not you. The people voted for you expecting social justice and the rule of law to be bolstered. They thought you would eradicate corruption. Those expectations have been shattered today.
දූෂණය නැති කරයි කියන විශ්වාසයෙන්. අද ඒකත් නැති වෙලා නැද්ද?